level in a long time, unless I was organizing or doing organizing work or strategy work with organizers on the ground. And I've been attacked by the best,
Mhm.
right? But it hits differently when your own people attack you and don't understand structural
Mhm.
anything,
Mhm.
right? Um, and, and come with bogus receipts and not full understanding of what
Mhm.
went down or their own version, because it's their version, my
And
version,
it's the
and then it's
truth.
the truth at the
Mhm.
end of the day. So, regardless of what it looks like, so I really want to claim on one comment that was emailed to me around receipts around
Mhm.
Jaden. Um, that's where I'm going to start it off with. Jaden and Donna moved here off of the strength of me and the love that I had for them during that particular
Mhm.
time. And I moved them here, helped them get an apartment, helped them get a job, spoke into Jaden to, do better, understand what it looks like to be a man, so on and so forth. As a woman, I can't teach you how to be a man, but I can give you directions around what men look like towards my
Mhm.
preview and direct you towards who are men,
Mhm.
right? Um, and even the men that I directed him to even said that this person has a lot of growing up to do,
Mhm.
right? And they don't know what that's like. There was some healing that needs to happen, so on and so forth. That's when I just started the Trans Relief Fund here in Chicago. So the Trans Relief Fund was just kicking off. I was just doing the fundraising for it, trying to figure it out, trying to make sure people get their money, and so there was a little amount of people that were actually getting the money. So there was money that was just sitting there. There was multiple people that applied constantly
Mhm.
to it. So I was just shifting out. BSA was just shifting out money. Staff members were just shifting out money to make sure people get it because there was a big need at the beginning of the
Right.
pandemic, and it still is a big need right now. So that's that receipt. What they should have shown you is the text messages that was happening and the conversations that was happening. I've said verbatim that the money is there. Let's see who gets in line and who needs the money and so on and so forth. And then therefore I can send it if you are eligible
Mhm.
for it. Um, and that should have been shown because what you're seeing is like receipts being
Mhm.
sent to you. You're not seeing the previous conversation that was being done or the conversation of the calls that was being done too. Um, I have I have a speech impediment, so you're just going to have to deal with that. Um, so that's one piece. The other piece around this car situation,
Mhm.
right? Um, The car situation is when I gave Donna the keys to the car and I said, "This will be a gift for you for your
Mhm.
birthday," right? I did say that. But the piece about that is that I said, "Can you afford $250 a month? I will give you the car if you can like pay it for the rest of
Mhm.
the year. $250 a month." To be honest, let me do this. Um, I can't for some reason I can't block them on my side. Um, $250 a month. The car will be yours at the end of
Mhm.
the year. As a friend, I paid
Mhm.
it, right? I completely paid it. You didn't pay me the money, $250 a month. You didn't give me the money, so on and so forth. It is what it is. When we started having an argument, which no one wants to talk about, is when Jaden started sleeping around with people in
Oh.
Chicago. No one talking about the incidents that they had in their relationship because you want to keep it private, but you want to talk about my shit, right? You want to put me on front loop around all the bullshit, but you don't want to talk about your own shit. Just like when he moved back to New York and was sleeping with the bitches in there in New
Mm.
York. I got the receipts and so on and so forth, right? So it's a continuous understanding around you want to talk about my shit, but don't want to put your shit on front at all. When Donna was putting her hands on him, vice versa, the fights back and forth, the continuous, like I literally took them to, where was it? Dave and
Mhm.
Buster's, right? I took them to Dave and Buster's and I had my niece with me to Dave and Buster's when Donna hit her hands on Jaden. In that moment, I could not be around y'all because of the the not only the aggression that y'all had, but for my niece to see that it's okay for people to put their hands on other people in a relationship. That's something that we
Mm-hmm.
don't do. Not now, my I don't do that with my family. Me and my husband have an agreement. Once you think that you decide to put your hands on me, it's a done of the it's the end of the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
relationship, right? Um, and I condone that for a long time. I condone them having conversations with them like, why are y'all putting y'all hands on each other, so on and so forth. What it looks like for y'all to get therapy, so on and so forth, and continue that, right? I put myself in a predicament in a space to figure out what it looks like for y'all to heal. But it continued to happen because y'all was complacent in that relationship. Y'all were complacent in the understanding of what y'all wanted to do and how y'all wanted to do it. And that it is what
Mm-hmm.
it is, right? So I slowly separated myself from that. You called me your sister and wanted me to be in a place as a boss and as a sister. I know how to separate the two from business and personal. I don't condone the whole misunderstanding around him sleeping with somebody that's a staff member.
Mm.
And you wanted me to fire a staff member as your sister.
So let me ask you something. How did that come out? That he slept with one of the staff members there. Like how did that tea come out? How
How
did
did
how
what?
did that tea come out? Like how did that come out? Like that he was sleeping with one of the staff members there. Like did the staff member say something? Like did it come out like in an argument? Like how did that come out?
It, see, that I don't remember because it was a big drawn out situation around what happened at work and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. And there's certain situations that I cannot talk about, right? Yeah, Deshanti told Donna. Um, and Donna told me. And then I had to keep a straight face at work because I can't do certain things and I cannot maneuver certain ways because of the importance of my
Mm-hmm.
job, right? It is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? After 5 p.m., we can have a conversation. We can maneuver and say how fucked up the whole situation is. But when it's nine to five, if it is not on work hours, if it did not happen at work, there's nothing I can do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And I have to keep them back because of my work ethic. That's just it's just how I maneuver. It's just that's just plain gates of it. So 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 when that situation happened, that's when me and Donna started slowly maneuvering away, like slowly separating.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she felt though, for me personally, she felt as though that I betrayed her as her sister and did not step in the way that I'm supposed to step in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And again, as a leader, I have to show a different type of way to maneuver around in particular type of issues. I've never been in that particular type of space
So
before
hold on.
either,
So
right?
so okay. So what I'm understanding is okay. So when it came out that he was messing with the coworker, she wanted you as because she felt like the relationship that y'all had together with each other. She felt like if she told you to defy this child, you were supposed to do it, and because you didn't do it, because the child really didn't do anything that jeopardized her job or that violated whatever her um criteria is for her workplace, because she didn't do anything like that, then it was no grounds to fire her, because see, that could have turned into a lawsuit for you. You just find her, just what I'm saying, because she cut up with somebody or something like that. So um I see where you go.
If that's your if that's your conclusion, that's your conclusion. I can't speak on that, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I get that. I get that. So you saying that started y'all separation because she didn't do something that you wanted. Okay. And go ahead.
So So that started that particular piece, and I understand that she was going through some stuff personally, and there was multitudes of things that she was going through personally. So I gave space to that, and not rightfully so. She had a lot going on. Donna had a lot going on, so she needed that time to heal, not only for personal stuff but from work stuff. And a lot of people don't understand, like, doing this particular type of work. This work is
Mhm.
stressful,
Mhm.
right? This work is not only physically stressful, it's mentally stressful. If you can't, a lot of people think that they want to do this work until they
They
start
start doing it.
doing this work,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Magneto, you are correct, but we do not, right? Magneto works in HR, so he knows is the what how I'm speaking. I have to be careful how I'm
Mhm.
speaking in this predicament. Um, Now, what was the question again? I forget.
So you're saying that that's basically when y'all relationship slash employee and employer relationship started to like have like its ripples in it. So
What
you're right, it started having this. Now one of the questions that they're asking in here is in the comments is, well, why the retreat? Why the retreat?
I can't
Okay.
speak,
All right.
but I can say it had nothing to do with
Oh,
that situation
okay.
at all.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you something. So because I didn't get a chance to really ask you this when you was over on my panel last week. Let me ask you something. And this is me and you talking or what have you. Do you feel like, or do you think that some of the people that you helped or extended yourself to um were like wrong decisions that cost you?
You know
Go ahead.
what? It cost me a lot. Um, Me and my husband talk about a lot of things. A lot of my close family
Mm-hmm.
and friends that are in my inner circle said, "We told you not to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Told you not to extend. Um, Told you not to go down that lane. Um, Told you not to befriend." Um, but I did
Mm-hmm.
anyways, right? Um, I have a gold heart. It is what it is. A lot of people that truly know me know I would give the shirt off my back to someone if I could. Um, but sometimes with having your heart on your
Mm-hmm.
sleeves, it comes with people trying to misuse you at the
Mm-hmm.
same time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and that is these particular cases. Um, and when I started slowly healing from my own shit and and centering myself, and the thing about it is I was about to lose my husband,
Mm.
because I was centering everyone else, and I was making sure everybody else was okay, and making sure everyone else is good in particular ways, or um, leaving out in the middle of the night because somebody got hurt, or someone to call the police on somebody else. Um, and this is a part of that, right? This is part of me being an organizer. This is a part of me doing organizing work here. This is a part of me doing all these particular things, as a person that not only caters but love community in particular
Mm-hmm.
ways, right? Um, and my husband was just like, you put them first, but you don't put me in the same space. Um,
So okay, so let me ask you something.
yeah,
Uh, all this stuff popping up on my screen. Okay, all right. Um, if you don't mind telling me, how old are you, Lasalia?
I'm 35. I just turned
Oh,
35 on
okay,
Sunday.
okay, okay, okay. All right. And again, of course, happy birthday again. Well, I had tagged you, but again, happy birthday, again to you.
Yes.
Um, 35 years old, you you're in this field to, help people, to look after people, and provide a service, Um, listen, they crucified Jesus. They read his ass. You know what I'm saying? You can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't please everybody. You cannot make everybody happy. But with that being said, do you think that the part of, now I'm just asking you a question, doesn't mean that you have to, you know what I'm saying, say,
I'm listening.
that this is,
I'm listening.
the reason why or anything or part of it. But do you think, because me listening, do you feel like because you have a big heart and because you want to do for people and you want to look out for people and help your community and stuff like that, um do you feel like part of that could be like wanting to be more accepted by your community in doing what you do? You know.
So the backstory around why I do this work. A lot of people don't know my backstory. I'm as bad as most. I'm not good. I'm not good at all. I used to be a drug dealer. I did what I had to do to get through college and so on and so forth. I'm not good by a long shot. And doing this work is not for because I want to be accepted. Doing this work is because something I wanted to do. A lot of us can't. Um, I was in a relationship in Baltimore over 10
Hmm.
years ago, and I was dating this man that was a polyamorous person. And um, I was in an abusive relationship, and I was in Baltimore by myself. I didn't have family, no friends. Only person that really knew I was there was Amari, which was a good friend of
Hmm.
mine, or which is still a good friend of mine. Um, and he understood like what was I was going through in that particular relationship. Um, I woke up plenty of times. He worked for the state correctional office. He worked in the
Hmm.
jailhouse. I woke up a couple of times with a gun in my face, and we both did
Oh my
organizing
God.
work, but I didn't know how to tell the story. Right? So I was placed in a woman's shelter to get out of the situation. Well, before that, I had to call the police on him. He was arrested. I was thinking I was okay for a little bit in the house. His aunt got him out of jail. They put a order of protection on him. So I had to leave in the middle of the night. And I was outside in the midst of the night in Baltimore, as we all know how cold it can get in Baltimore because it's
Right.
off the water, right? Um, I had to go into a woman's shelter the next day, and I had to go into this woman's shelter stealth. And I was there for at least a month and a half. And all the leaders that I reached out to during this particular time said, "You'll be okay." And the thing about it is I still have them text messages and them screenshots for them Facebook shots and people telling me that you'll be okay. Mother Kim is on here. She's one of the people that I've reached out to. She'll tell you like she has the screenshots of the scars on my chest and
Mm.
everything of me getting out of that relationship. Um,
How long were you with this person?
I was with them for a year. I was with them for a year. Um, I was with them for a year. Yeah, I was with them for a year living in Baltimore. And I promised myself when I was in the women's shelter that I would at least have one
Hmm.
resource. One. At least have one resource to anyone that reached out to me because in that time, no one had no type of resources for me during the moments. No one. No one knew what to do. No one knew how to maneuver. No one knew who to call. And I was just stuck in the woman's shelter until my father came and got me. And and in them times, my mother and my father moved from Chicago back to Tennessee, so I had to wait for them to get the money to be able to come and get me and my
Hmm.
things from the women's shelter. And that's when it just really kicked on. Like this is something that I want to do. This is something that 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 in that particular time, a lot of us didn't have the resources or the 10 years ago
Mhm.
today, it was a completely different walk. As you know, Naima, it was we didn't have the resources
Mhm.
that we have today like we had
Mhm.
10 years ago. Ain't no possible fucking way. We still don't have the
Mhm.
resources, right? Doing this particular type of work. So that is what made me want to step in and go to Audre Lorde Project in New York to learn oppressive language, go to Transgender Law Center in California to understand what it looks like to do
Mhm.
organizing work, work with be national and organizing also here in Chicago. So that's what grounded me in the work that I did because of the relationship that I was in and how do I need to maneuver
Mhm.
forward. So that was the catalyst. That was pieces of the catalyst that started this particular type of work. But I was in the work organizing and helping write policies while in that relationship. But I really did not want to be on the front scope of like getting resources and maneuvering resources and doing all of that.
Mhm.
That's what's
And then you just went from there.
yeah.
So let me ask you, why do you think that you with these people that you helped out and that you done things for, why do you feel like you get attacked so much? Why do you feel like you are attracting so much negativity? Like, what is it that?
Because I used to be a hood girl. I'm gonna be honest. I used to be a hood girl, bitch. I was out there with the hood and niggas on the corner, just like
Mm-hmm.
everybody else, right? And that was a fight for or flight type of motion. So when people are in fight motion, all they're gonna do and all they don't understand is what fight and flight
Mm-hmm.
looks like. So they're gonna automatically do what they know. So it's fine. It's fine that I'm going to get attacked by people. It's fine that I'm going to automatically get attacked because I'm a black woman in power, and it's automatically different type of when I'm black, trans, and queer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm okay with that. So what I promised myself this year is I won't play in the mud when people are already in the
Mm-hmm.
mud. I'm going to allow them to play with themselves. And that's what I did. I was playing in the mud when people was already playing in the mud, and I should not have. And my husband told me this. My good friend told me this, and so on and so forth told me this. And I just said I'm not going to do it no
Mm-hmm.
more. Right? I'm in a place in my life that I don't have to. I did it because I cared and I appreciate, and it was something that I did for so long. But I don't have to do it no more.
So when you say you was playing in the mud, so meaning like if they came at you dirty, you retaliated back.
Mhm. Or just being in the same spaces with them,
Mm. But here's.
condoning the actions that they were doing, being in spaces that they were doing these
Mhm.
particular things, allowing the domestic abuse, and allowing the arguments and fussing and arguing and jumping. Because y'all know me, I was on here arguing with everybody else on here, right? I was fussing and doing the ones and the twos with everybody else, but I did not have to do it. As I get older, I'm learning like, yo, I don't have to do that. I don't have to be in these spaces to argue with people. I don't have to sit down and throw a food fight with you when I don't have to do that. I just don't have to.
Let me ask you something. So do you feel like, okay, so some of the rumors when you was on here on the app was that when you would get into it with people and you would get into read sessions or whatever, you will throw up that, you got this coin and you got this business and you graduated, you would just throw up all these accolades and they would just feel like that you
So you can read. So I know what you're about to get into. So y'all are okay with reading
mhm.
me,
Mhm.
right? But I can't read you with what I got. I can't use my knives at my disposal. I can't tell you that you need a GED. I
Oh
can't
my god.
tell you you need to educate yourself. I can't tell you that bitch you will never be on my level. I can't so Naima, tell me, how am I supposed to fight with a bitch that's using a chair and I don't have nothing in my
Mhm.
hands, right? It makes no sense, right? So you telling me that I supposed to read you just by reading. Bitch, I don't know what you got. I know what
Mm-hmm.
I got,
Right.
right? So if a read, exactly, a read is a fucking read. So you're gonna tell me, oh, she just threw her diploma in my motherfucking face. Well, bitch, you told me I had a fat ass nose and my skin is bad, bitch. What the fuck am I
Right.
supposed to say to you?
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. And yes, that's right. Wes, a read is a
Make it
read.
make it make sense because a lot of this don't make sense, right? A lot of this conversation doesn't make sense. So y'all allot these particular spaces for these people to talk about particular things, but when you come back or come up a couple of levels higher than them, they feel as though that, oh, you pushing me down, you doing all this, or you being class, bitch. You the one came at me, bitch. I was sitting in
Right.
my chair fine.
Mm-hmm.
My ass. I just took a shower, but you want to throw mud at me. So this is why I said this year and last year, as I went through my healing process for myself, is I don't have to be in these
Okay.
spaces. I don't have to maneuver.
So when it comes
Mhm.
to, when you help people or when you're doing for people, so um, are you do you find yourself being selective in who you help? And
No, no, no. The thing about it is, a lot of people don't understand how organizational money works. Two, they don't understand or have read or know how to write a grant or understand how grants
hmm
work. That's number two. Number three, if you know the structure of a non for profit 501c3, then therefore you know every fucking penny is
hmm
counted. Every penny. Every penny has a place, every dollar has a motive, and every coin has a place that it needs to be at any moment. We've had 6 audits in the last year and one last week. Every penny, every dime, every dollar went to where it wants to go to. And hopefully next year, not hopefully, next year, as we just got our 501c3 at the end of our 501c3 at the end
hmm
of last year, y'all will be able to pull up the tax information next year for BSA and understand that every dollar went to where it went to. So the lies that people are saying that, oh, she just stealing money, she just doing what she wants to do. No, I'm a thriving black trans woman in a position that I deserve to be in. And you're just mad that I finally am fucking thriving and not playing in the fucking mud no more.
mm
That's why you're mad. That's why people are mad. You want me to continue to be starving. You want me to continue to be out there doing what I had to do to survive. But now that I'm thriving, there becomes an issue. That's a
hmm
problem. That's a self thing that you have to fix. I don't have to fix that. I gave you the choices, I gave you the lane to take, but you didn't want to listen to me. So therefore, you continue to do what you've been doing. I have allotted that space. I'm not allotting that space no more. I'm living.
do you
I,
feel like the
mhm.
people that's around you um have tried to extort you? Okay, well,
Automatically.
why is that?
You know, I went. Let me tell you what happened this weekend. I was with my mother, my grandmother, and my father, and I normally go see my parents, my family every quarter, but since the pandemic happened, I had to make sure that everyone was vaccinated, so on and so forth. So we have to maneuver
hmm
differently because of my son. My grandmother's, she's full of fucking wisdom. She's still teaching. She's 78 years old. My mother, she's she just my mother.
okay.
Um, she's just my mother. I love her dearly, but they speak wisdom into me. And my grandmother said, "Why are you looking for something that you
hmm
already have?" Do you know I broke down and cried?
Oh wow.
I broke down and fucking cried because she said, "Why are you looking for something that you already got sisters? You already got a mother. You already got a grandmother. You already got family. So why are you looking for something that you already have? We don't dispose. We didn't just dispose of you. We didn't understand,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't dispose of you. And I said, thank you for renewing me. Thank you for placing that love and protection